the proton, right? Okay, so I went and got these books because I wanted to catch up on some of my chemistry, right? And some of the stuff that I used to study when I was younger, like 40 years ago. And it's fading out of my mind. So I said, I'm going to go get the books and read them. But you know, I found something out that I've always known, but I didn't know just how bad it was because I was not really under the consciousness that I'm under right now. But anyway, this book is supposed to familiarize you with a neutron and the way a neutron works. So if you don't mind, I'd just like to read something about it. It says, Introduction. About 2 centuries ago, in 1803 to be precise, British chemist John Dalton. Now right away, they give you a British chemist, a man named John Dalton, transformed science with a simple statement. All matter is made of atoms. The idea was far from a new one. The ancient Greek philosopher Leucippus and Democritus had suggested it 23 centuries earlier when they asked themselves how small they could cut a piece of matter without changing its nature. They described the smallest possible piece as atomos, meaning indivisible. These were only ideals, however, while Dalton connected the notion of atoms to laboratory observations. Okay, they say they were only ideals, however, while Dalton connected the notion of atoms to laboratory observation. In Dalton's theory, the smallest pieces of most substances turn out not to be atoms, but molecules. Water molecules is made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Thus, it is not indivisible, but it is still the smallest speck of matter that can still be called water. Dalton spoke of 2 kinds of substances, elements which are made of only 1 kind of atom, and compounds which are made of only 1 kind of molecule. Dalton, like Leucippus and Democritus, thought the atoms were indivisible, but turns out to be incorrect. As scientists discovered more elements, they began to wonder what distinguished one element from another. Might atoms be made of even smaller particles, just as molecules are made from atoms? By the end of the 19th century, physicists, scientists who study matter and energy had begun to find evidence that the answer was today. Now listen, they say by the end of the 19th century, today's students, like you know, the name of the most important of subatomic particles, you have probably learned that atoms contain protons, neutrons, and electrons, but you may not know how those particles were discovered and how they combine to give atoms their properties. You may not know that those 3 are only part of a full set of particles in the universe. This book will carry you deep inside the atom, where you will meet the neutron and discover the great power that it can unleash. Now this next page starts off the atomic nature of matter. These ancient Greeks, okay, begin with 2 simple questions. What is matter made of, and why do different kinds of matter behave differently? Now, they said that this is where the whole study of matter comes from with the Greeks, but we have the Egyptian pyramids that was on the earth way before any Greek civilization or any Greek popped up, which means that they're lying. Because someone had to already know about atoms and how they work to be able to build those pyramids. Okay? So what he's saying about the con game and what he's saying right there is how they come in and give you nothing but they whitewash everything bullshit. See, look, let me show you. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. It says, okay, however, they never considered testing their atomic theory by observing nature. It was not because atoms were too small to see, although they are, but rather because testing ideas through observation, a cornerstone of modern science, had not yet become part of the human culture. Bullshit! Because the Egyptians obviously had did all this stuff already. If they got the greatest structural remnants of a civilization that's so grand now that it's still puzzling the damn Greeks, how did they do it? So here's the Greek here. Okay, you can see him looking at the person who knows every damn thing, okay? You see his ass right there, Mr. Know Every Damn Thing. But then they tell you, however, they never considered testing their atomic theory by observing nature. It was not because atoms were too small to see, although they are, but rather because testing ideas through observation, a cornerstone of modern science had not yet become part of human culture. That means they just had to completely leave the Egyptians out, which make us be considered to be not part of the human culture. So the reason I attack the European race as much as I do is because your lies and your deception has made my generation, as well as my whole nationalism, my nationalism, were destroyed. by these lies. And we are hated all over the planet because of these, as a result of these lies. So I'm not trying to bash anyone. I'm trying to bring impediment to the bashing of myself by exposing the lies that cause this bashing. So everybody that's upset about that, I don't care. Because I'm probably trying to help you and you just don't know it. If you live on this planet, you're victimized too. You just don't know it. Take my word on that. So yeah, this guy's got some very interesting information, and I hope you all are liking it as much as I'm liking presenting it to you. I got permission. He said go ahead and do it. So guess what? It's on and cracking. Peace and blessings.